Hi everyone, it's Angela from Wonderful Me again. Again, we'd like to thank Erina Public School and Dr. John who have partnered with us to bring this 10-week series. As you would have seen from last week, Natalie McDonald explained the great way that they've embedded it in, and I hope you enjoyed the first series this week on one of the first characters, the one that I love in particular, and this is beautiful Wince, and he struggles with worry and anxiety. So enjoy as you listen to the teacher on how they've embedded it into their curriculum and their program. Enjoy. Look forward to seeing you next week where we will begin the journey of talking about squeak. So enjoy and have a great week.
Well, good day and welcome to the WorryWoos. As you can see, this character on my shoulder is Wince. Now, I think Wince likes to be near somebody because Wince carries a lot of anxiety. So we're now going to be talking about Wince. This is the monster of anxiety. You will see on the overview slide what Wince covers. And the book that goes with that, you'll see that on the next slide, you'll see Don't Feed the Worry Bug. Now, I've also, for this one, as you can see on the slide, written my own book to help young worriers beat the worry bug. And this is the worry bug here. And he gives Wince a hard time. In his ear all the time, sort of saying, "Oh yeah, but what do you hear? But something might happen." And you're going, keeps and grows and grows, as it says in the book, in the storybook, until totally running Wince's life. Wince has no peace. Now, anxiety is very common in kids, as it says on this slide about anxiety and worry. In the 0 to 8-year-old group, 25.7% have an anxiety difficulty or distress. 16% into the 8 to 12s and so on. Now, there are different types of worry and anxiety. The obsessive and compulsive sort, where they've got to keep doing things or keep saying things, whatever. Then there's a separation anxiety, like we saw with Squeak. You just couldn't separate. The most common form is just generalised anxiety, where it's just anxious about how everything's going to work out and always worried about, but what if it doesn't work out? Then we've got the phobias, and we've all had those from time to time. They can be inherited too, by the way. And then we've got the social worries, and that's one Noel covers when we study Noel. These are different types of anxieties. Now, the symptoms you will get, most of them you know. I have a slide on them, and when I show you them, you say, "Oh, I've got all of those. I got those." But dry mouth, sweating, rapid breathing, twitching and trembling, headaches, appetite changes, nausea, diarrhea. You can probably read these quicker than I can speak them. Sleepless, hyperventilating, irritability, fatigue, nightmares. I bet you're saying, "I've got all those," and so they, it is difficult for many people. Now, if you've got a kid with anxiety, I've got a lot of activities in my book to help children with that, but a few of them, you can have a worry winning ladder where the kids start beating their easiest worry and then work up to the more difficult. Or you can have a calming corner where they can go and just shake it out. Or a worry bug wrecking game where you say, "I'm not going to let you beat me, I'm in charge of me." Or you can do a lot of stroking. That really earths children's anxiety if they get stroked or whatever. So just a little hand on their shoulder, anything, earths the kids. You can play a car wash game with them where they feel there's a little pitter-patter on there, and then there come the big waves, and so you're actually massaging and you're using the activity for that. You can try a facelifter. All that is try this one. Think of something sad, turn your mouth up into a smile. I know it looks weird. And then try and think about that really sad thing. It's almost impossible. The mind can't cope with the fact that you're talking about something good and you're talking about something bad, or trying to, and yet your face is a smile. So just turning the face up, what the corners of the mouth up is a help. But you can have as a lot of teachers do, and we might find too that that's being used at Erina High School, do a lot of breathing, belly breathing. That really slows the anxiety down. Now, and a lot of teachers now using meditation or yoga or something, yoga for children. Now, I've got a diagram here of how it operates, anxiety operates. You will see there's some unsettling event that causes the sort of, the tension. And that moves then across to anxiety. And that, if we go straight across and we don't give kids any help, moves to panic. But if we can intercept that with mindfulness type things, the sort of activities I've just mentioned, if we can actually give kids their breathing, slow down their breathing, so that their brain, their mind stays in charge of the problem, because once they panic breathe, then the amygdala takes over, which is like their feeling gate, and then they think fight or flight. So a lot of teachers are doing activities to slow the breathing down and to make the children be more mindful of how they can get through it. If we can intercept like that, then we can get a good resolution, because the mind has stayed in control, not the feelings have been in charge. Again, if good activities are available in the cross-curricular book, which the teachers have looked at and used, but at this point, I don't think it's for me to say how teachers best use the Wince, because they have more expertise in this than I do. But I do want to introduce you to Emma, because Emma has been working in this area for some time. So let's get Emma's advice on how she uses the WorryWoos, and in particular, let's talk about how she uses Wince in the classroom. Well, Emma, it's so great to have you here, and to think that I think probably the lucky one, because Wince is one of the more popular of the WorryWoos, but how have you integrated Wince into your class and your activities?
The boys and girls in my class, I teach an early stage 1 class, and they just love this little toy. And one of the things that they have really loved about this program is being able to have the opportunity to hold Wince as well, especially if they are feeling those worried feelings. And I have a number of students who do suffer from anxiety, and so they were actually already a little bit familiar with Wince, which really did help when I introduced it to the class. And we've had a few different activities in our classroom that have been really helpful for those students and all of the students in being able to understand what those worry feelings feel like, and then what they can do to help to solve those worry feelings.
Is there a particular activity you remember doing with them that stands out? I know some of them are on your slides, but is there a particular activity that stands out?
One of the things that we did early on was to brainstorm what kind of worries we might be experiencing at school. And we talked about, well, if Wince was going to school, what are the kind of worries that he might feel? So then those students didn't have to feel concerned about sharing their worries publicly. They could say it was Wince's feeling a bit worried. And then what they did was they created short little skits or plays about those worried feelings. And then we talked as a class again about how we might solve those worries. So a popular one amongst the students in my class was to do finger breaths. And so we talked about using our fingers as a guide to help us do some deep breathing activities. So breathing in and breathing out. And this is a strategy that we use in the classroom as well. So if we can see that people are starting to get worried or upset, we say, let's use some finger breaths. And so we do that as a class. We also made some posters. And so we talked about if someone was feeling worried, they could do the finger breaths, or they could draw a picture, or they could tell a friend. And we called it talk it out. Talk it out with a grown-up, talk it out with a friend. And that was a really popular one that they really resonated with a lot of the students. And another one that I found was really useful was we also made a little worry monster out of a paper bag. And so then we wrote down some of our worries and we popped it in the bag, and we talked about how if we keep all our worries in our head, then those worries grow. And so if we can get them out on paper and give them to our little worry monster, then we don't have to worry about them anymore.
I think that's a fabulous idea. I can't thank you enough, Emma. That's very creative. I love that finger breathing. Yeah, and I do, and I use this in the clinic too, that idea of putting your worry into a bag, or sometimes parents will put on the worry tree outside the door, so you leave your worries there. You don't need to keep worrying about them. I think you've been very creative. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, thank you.
Thank you very much for participating. Okay, so that's Wince. Now let's move on.
Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video and you got something worthwhile out of it. Please feel free to contact us by popping over to our website. You'll see on our website all the Wonderful Me resources and the WorryWoo's resources that we do provide. And if you've got any inquiries or questions out of today's video, please feel free to email us at hello@wonderfulme.com.au. Thanks very much everyone and have a great week. See you.